Let's take you to KZN now. The truck driver in the Phongolo horror crash that claimed 21 lives has been remanded in custody. He appeared in court this morning. His bail application is set for the 26th of September for further investigation. The driver handed himself over to police after he fled from the scene of the accident. Most of the deceased were children who were in a bakkie that collided with a truck. Senior reporter Dasen Thathiah is tracking developments around that story for us and joins us this morning. Good morning, Dasen. We understand that the driver has been remanded in custody. Just take us through the brief proceedings from today.
Well, it definitely was brief as we had anticipated, but something we didn't anticipate was that we wouldn't be able to bring you the visuals of that accused in this matter, Dasen Thathiah. In fact, that was a ruling that was made quite early on. We had applied to have those visuals brought to you, but the accused then objected, citing safety concerns. He says that the community is very upset, and especially because he intends to apply for bail, he was not comfortable with being filmed. The court then ruled in his favor, albeit just for now, because that is a decision that will be reviewed as we get closer to the bail application. Something else that was also addressed during this first court appearance was that he was provisionally granted legal aid, provisionally because he doesn't meet the threshold. He is a salaried worker, and that is something that also still needs to be discussed. But the state was quite clear. They will be opposing bail. They've also suggested that he remains in custody for purely that reason, over those safety concerns. And they also allege that he did not willingly hand himself over to the police. In fact, he fled the scene, and they say that's an indication that he tried to evade justice, and it was through police investigation that he ultimately then went back to the police station on Saturday. So it's going to be interesting to hear those details, which we'll probably get more of during the bail application. But I want to bring in a very important aspect of the story now, and that's the view of residents who've been complaining about this issue for years. If you look at Phongolo, you'll see that the N2 cuts through the town. That makes for a very dangerous setting, especially when you see the number of trucks that travel here. So they've been complaining about this for the longest time. They've sounded the warning bell, saying that there was going to be another fatal accident. No one expected it would be as bad as this. Let me bring in now Jabu Hansen. You might know the name, our viewers might know the name, because there's a well-publicized tweet now from 2019 that has been doing the rounds, where you reached out to the transport minister and you said that there's going to be a fatal accident that's going to take place here if nothing else is done. I believe since then, until now, you haven't heard back.
No, Dasen, we haven't heard back anything. In fact, as early as 26th of August, I sent another tweet directly implicating the trucks to the minister to say, please intervene and do something on the N2 Phongolo. We are dying. Almost every day here, we've got an accident that involves trucks, and there's been so many loss of life because of the trucks, and no one seems to be listening to what we are saying. As you mentioned on Twitter, since 2019, I've tweeted to the minister, to the KZN Department of Transport, SANRAL, Road Traffic Management, all of them. All my cries fell on deaf ears, and I did warn that something this huge is going to happen.
And in fact, this is not one of those occasions where you want to be right, and unfortunately that's exactly what happened. What was the breaking point for you? What was it for you that said, I need to get in touch with government and we need to put a stop to this?
Look, being a concerned resident of Phongolo, that's what pushed me, and I could see that nothing was being done by those who are supposed to be doing something. And I said, you know what, as a concerned resident, let me try and reach out. Perhaps they don't know how to get to them. At least I know, especially the Minister of Transport, he's very present on Twitter, and I hoped that he was going to reach out and respond to my tweet. So the main thing was about being a resident of Phongolo and seeing things not happening the right way.
Okay, and I think we'll have more of a conversation after I speak to another resident here, Siyabonga Spear. Sir, you said something very interesting to me earlier on, and it was actually alarming. When I asked you how many people have you as a community lost here, and you said to me, I've lost count.
Yes, good morning to the viewers. Honestly, we have lost count of the number of our loved ones that we have lost due to this problem caused by the truck drivers in our N2 road crossing Phongolo. So it's been a while since we have started complaining about this, and clearly no one had came to our attention.
Yeah.
We have been not attended. Maybe it was supposed to be like it just happened on Friday, so for our leaders to have to attend to our complaints, because
Yeah.
we have been talking about this almost every day.
Mr. Spear, what do we know about the victims that have passed away? We know that most of them were children, but you are in the community. I imagine that you've also engaged with some of the families.
Oh yes, that's true. By profession, I'm a teacher, so most of, almost except for the driver, the 20 souls lost on that accident are involved in the Department of Education, 19 as learners, and one was a teacher. So one has been trying to contact a few people to check the direct people who are directly involved in that accident. I was so traumatized and shocked to discover that some families has lost more than one family members. I have a friend of which even today I don't know what to say to him. His wife is one who was mentioned as a teacher, and two of his children were in that bakkie. So he lost almost all of his family, because there was his wife and two children. It was not him alone. Also, we have heard that some family members, some families lost more than 2-3 family members who were in the bakkie. So we out of words. We don't know what to say because now it had to be like this. We've been trying to warn those who are supposed to come give us attention, because we don't see trucks per se as a problem, but the problem especially is with the drivers who are reckless.
I want to sorry to interrupt you. I just want to squeeze this in before we go. The government delegation is here today, led by the acting premier. If you have an opportunity to interact with them, I want to know what you're going to say to them directly to address these concerns, and what it is that you expect as a resident.
All right, thank you. I've heard also that the delegation is here, and I'm also concerned that they are only here today. The accident that took place on Friday, I thought they will leave everything at their disposal and come attend the families and also come to the scene. But that one is for another day. Yeah, I'm expecting them also. I'm expecting them to be the ones who will give us solutions, because we've been depositing views, directing to them as the concerned residents, as to say this is what we believe it should be done, especially the N2 road here. We believe that the number of vehicles traveling in this road now are too much for this road, and Sanral has been promising to come and do something regarding this road. I believe today maybe we'll see the project kick-starting, because last time I checked, even the project, there was someone who was already assigned to do that work for expansion of the N2 road. Also, I'm expecting the delegation to make sure that they don't leave this as in today, but they must also have some engagements with the truck owners. And one thing that as a community that we want to see, we want the leaders to clear their names, because there are allegations as to say some of our leadership are owning some percentages of these trucks. That is why they are not paying this attention we believe they should be paying regarding the truck problems. So we expect them to come up with a clear way of how the trucks are going to operate here, starting from where they come from. Because my main concern is that these trucks come very far from Phongolo. They come from 300 plus kilometers away from Phongolo. But we only discover that the truck are not roadworthy only when they reach Phongolo. My question is, what do the Department of Transport, what is the Department of Transport is doing all the way from where the trucks are coming from, in terms of checking whether they are supposed to be in the road or not?
I appreciate your time, Mr. Sabia. Thank you very much. Raising some important points there and is echoing the sentiments of other residents that we've spoken to. So hopefully those are some of the questions that will be answered by the delegation that is in the area currently. We will try to also have an opportunity to engage with the acting Premier and the other MECs that are here.